Hey guys, welcome to another video from Screen Photographic with me, Jason. Now I put a post on my Facebook page just after the shoot I did the other week with Charlotte, asking if anybody would like to see how I edit a video. And somebody said yes, so we aim to please here, so thank you for saying yes, Rosie. I hope you're watching. So what I'm doing here is showing you the workflow I go through in a piece of software called Darktable. Now Darktable is a free version, or free alternative if you like, to Lightroom. So it's a raw image processor, okay? And for those of you who don't like the Adobe pricing model, or those of you who want to try and learn something different perhaps, or there's other raw editors out there. There's Raw Therapy as well, which is a good one to use. I like Darktable. It looks very similar to Lightroom. And I'm running it here on a Linux-based operating system, but of course it also works on Windows and Mac. And the other image editing software I use is this one. Again, also available on Windows and Mac. It's called GIMP, and this is basically free Photoshop. And if ever you used Photoshop before, you'll recognise some of the tools and brushes and settings that you can have, and there's lots more you can add in terms of features. But we'll look at this at another time. We're not actually going to do that today. So I'm just going to do a quick image edit from start to finish, just on a workflow. There's a number of different ways and a number of different features you can use in Darktable to achieve the same image or the same end effect. Some are quite quick to use, some are a little bit long-winded, some modules are pretty good, some are not so good. Let's get cracking. So this is the image I'm going to work off of a shoot I did with Marita Veguet at Plantation Gardens in Norwich. Wonderful model, always so much fun to work with as well, and really nice, as all the models I work with are. So what we're going to do, we're going to look now at the main image editing window, and I should say at this stage that Darktable has a number of other features as well. So this is your light table, where you view all the images from the collection that you've got. You can duplicate images and add presets, of which you can download more online. I've got quite a number here. Some are pretty good, some I've used, some I haven't used. Whether I'll use them all one day, I honestly couldn't answer that question. You've also got the option of exporting your images. I'm going to export to a JPEG when we're done. But you can also export to PNG or TIFF, which is a high-res image, of course, if you're working perhaps with the intention of printing. JPEGs are lossy images, so they will degrade in quality the more times that you edit them, or indeed degrade in quality the more times that you open and close the image over time. So we will, for the purpose of this video, be exporting to JPEG because it is web safe. It doesn't take up too much space to upload an image once you've processed it. So this is now the darkroom, and this is where the magic happens, where you do most of your edits. Okay. Now there's a number of different ways to achieve a number of different tasks within Darktable. Clicking this left arrow here, it shows you sharpen, orientation and base curve based on the software and the things that you've got versions of. We're getting the best image straight out of camera. The image information gives you the film roll, so the file that you've saved basically that the image is located in. It gives you a bit of information on the camera as well. So this is taken with 50mm 1.4 USM, f4, exposure 1400 at 50mm, and an ISO 200, so there should be little noise in the image. Actually, we get to go involved with. Alright, first things first, we click on this little box down here. And this tells us where an image is overexposed, areas of red, or underexposed in darker areas, which are colored as blue. You can see straight away the hair is a little bit overexposed and the face is slightly dark, so there's a couple of ways of fixing exposure. There's a couple of ways of fixing brightness as well. So this is our tone group, and from here we can, sorry, this is not our tone group, sorry, this is our basic settings, and from here we can just control some brightness and shadows and highlights. And we can adjust exposure, set masks, and go well into depth. I'm going to try and explain this quickly as the video goes on. So let's see if we can adjust the brightness somewhat. And bring the contrast down. Increase saturation. And that's done a decent job on the hair, but what it's done is also darken the rest of the image as well. So we can get the shadows and highlights. and I'm quite happy with that. So from here, what you want to do is push the highlights up to increase them. And if you push the shadows down, you'll make the background a little bit darker, or up to expose the image a bit better. And to me, that's already looking pretty well exposed, isn't it? You can shift the white point, darken it to obviously put the shadows into focus, increase it if you want, which is producing a bit of a wacky effect, which we don't want, of course, and that shifts the white point to brighter. So let's try and leave that fairly central. So we turn off the shadow and highlights. That's also good. Turn them on again, and that's put the image into focus. So that's looking pretty good so far. Now there's a number of different ways you can bring the tones in. What I'm going to do at this stage before I move on to that, I'll just crop the image a bit. We've got the right amount of background blur. We don't need too much of the background to be in the image because we should be focusing on the model, of course, here. So let's crop these in. That's pretty good, and that will also affect your exposure. You can see that we're still within that exposure, and the colours are well balanced as well. So this is a histogram if you've never read one. The left side represents the darker parts of the image, and the right hand side represents the lighter parts of the image, and the middle represents where the tones and the mid-tones are all set. So these colours are fairly close to the white part of the histogram, so the colours are quite well matched. Obviously if I was to move this to the right, it would blow the image out. If I was to move this to the left, it would darken the image perhaps a little bit too much. So I'm happy with the way things are at the moment. So moving into the tone curve, and this creates options. Now you can just go in and edit straight away and start pushing tones up or down or making adjustments that you want, or you can make changes based off the lab channel. And if you don't understand what lab colour is, I would research that or stay away from this for the time being. I'm just going to work off the RGB link channels for the purpose of this video. So that works on all the red, green and blue parts of the image, which all images are made up from, together. So let's take the pivot, let's put it onto its face, and let's adjust that just enough to brighten it. And that's looking pretty good. I'm just going to drop it at the other end. Exposure in. Do we drop the shadow in? No, I don't think we do. Okay, so we'll leave that there, so that's cool. So we've got a bright, well exposed image, the face is in good detail, and what we're going to do now, we're just going to move on to make a little bit of a change to the skin tone with Velvia. You can click in and adjust the strength to make sure that someone doesn't look too red or too dark in the skin tone, whatever, and try and get close and match to what we have. There we go. Do I want to apply a little bit of lens correction? I could do. Just square level the image off. There's a little bit of noise, but you expect that when you crop an image in. As you can see close up these speckles here, it's easy to get rid of. Darktable comes with a number of denoising options, and it really is finding the one that works for you and adjusting the settings. So we're going to go, for the purpose of this video, with the easiest one to use, which is raw denoise. All you need to do now is adjust the settings to make sure the pictures look too much like an oil painting. Try them all though. Denoise profile always produces good results. And you can change and increase the patch size. I've lit on 1, increase the strength. Obviously the more you do that, the more of an oil painting effect you'll get, particularly if you're close up. That's looking pretty good to me. Now you can go into the filmic module if you want, and push tones one way or the other. You'll see when I've turned it on, this is off, this is on. It's changing the eye colour a little bit too much, which I don't like. You can probably adjust that with these sliders here. also adjusted the lip colour as well, which I don't like. You'd use this to, as I say, bring tones in and bring a little bit more of a sharpness to an image. You can set a safety factor, so you don't overexpose more in one direction. And that's looking pretty good. And you can also play with the white exposure as an individual module and the black exposure and isolation as well. What you want to be aware of is if you play with the middle grey luminance and you make adjustments on here, it will move the other two sliders as well. And just on this as well, so this 2 EV and this -9 H6 EV are stops of exposure. So you're essentially changing the exposure within those modules or those sliders, if you like, accordingly. So that's 13 stops under, that's just 3 stops under, and it produces some really weird and wacky effects, so we want to try and avoid that where we can. So we don't want to lose any feature on the hair. So I'm pretty happy with that, so let's go and have a look at our history stack. So what we've done, we've worked through the image now, starting from what the camera gave us with the base curve. We've increased the brightness and saturation in 2 different instances. Added some shadow and highlights to bring out the face a little bit more, and control this blown area of the hair. We've brought a little bit more light coming in off the side of the image so we can crop and rotate. And see the changes that we've made, that keeps the face exposed with the right amount of background blur without blowing anything out. We've adjusted the tone curve to bring all around brightness of the image and bringing the texture of the image as well. We've applied Velvia for skin tone, a little bit of lens correction to square the image off rather than have a slightly curved look to the edges, which you can see here. We've applied denoise profiles just to smoothen everything out and make sure there's no speckling. And we've applied the filmic module and made some edits to that as well. So that was a quick edit. I mean, there's a number of different things you can do. You can then export the image if you want. You could turn filmic off if you didn't want it in the image and decided to stick with that, which we can do. You can then go and adjust perhaps the colours of an image in the colour zones. So pick an area of colour, perhaps the lipstick here. You can adjust the saturation of it by moving these sliders over and up and down. So move the triangle point here, and you'll be able to amend that colour. The bigger the circle, the bigger the radius it will change, so keep it nice and small. Down will bring the colour down, up will saturate the colour a bit more. And the other thing to look at as well, which we haven't done yet, is to look at masking. Just very quickly with this as well, because it's something which you're probably worth googling or spending some time looking at. If you wanted to apply another colour mask, let's duplicate that instance. You come down here to perhaps draw a mask, use a shape, or around the mouth if you like. Just feather it slightly, no more by 30 pixels, I don't think you need to do. Just right click and enter numeric valuation and hit enter, and then you'll see what we'll do now. We'll take our pipper, we'll click on here, we've got our mask selected, move our colour along, and all it will do is edit whatever's in the mask. And that's how you can manipulate colour. You can, as I say, reduce the saturation in this instance, increase the saturation. It's entirely up to you what you want to do, but we'll leave that how it is. Nothing in Darktable is destructive. If you make a mistake, it's simply a case of resetting the module. If you decide you don't like something, you can simply turn the module off and proceed, and then all you'd need to do from there would be to export the image, go into the location that the image is saved in, which is in here. Wait for it to export, it can only take a minute or two. In the meantime, here's one I worked on previously of Rosie, who requested this video. And there's one of Catherine as well. So absolutely fantastic. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found that useful. That's just a very, very short edit on how to bring an image up to scratch from camera. There's lots more you can do with Darktable and combined with GIMP. But this was only short, and hopefully you enjoyed it. See you in the next video. And remember, guys, always take the shot, and I'll see you soon. Bye.